self-serving judgment of religions and laws of man. Actually turn people away from God. God lives inside of us all. And the way to connect to God is to turn our attention inward. Be still and know that our Creator is always speaking to us. Our Creator, who is beneficent and loving and merciful. We come from that. We were made by that, in that image. When a religious organization insists that you turn that attention outward, your attention, your focus, when you take it off of God directly and place it upon the religion and focus on following their religious law to the T, lest you be judged and deemed unholy, lest you be condemned and denied love and acceptance by the church. All of that takes people away from God. Okay? It weakens their connection because the attention that was placed on that direct connection to God is now out here, worried about your judgment, worried about, am I going to be alone in the world? Am I going to be cast out by my brothers and sisters and feel unsafe because they've judged me for not jumping through their hoops, for not running on their treadmill, for not chasing after their dangling carrots? When a person spends their entire life feeding the fire of a church or of a religious organization, and they fail to stoke and feed the fire of God within, when this body extinguishes, the fire that they have been feeding outwardly to the church of the fire of the church, that will also extinguish, because it's ephemeral, it's of this world, which is fleeting, which is temporary. And if they spent their entire life doing that and neglecting to feed the inner fire, the inner spark of God within, then when this body extinguishes, there will be darkness. There will be no light to lead them back to God. This is how religions and judgments steal people's lights, how they break their connection to God, and this is why we should not judge. Who are we to judge? We are imperfect, we are fallible, we are little children. We are here to learn, to grow, and most of all to love God. That's what we were made to do. We were made to worship our God, and that's how we grow in wisdom. Not by worshiping a religion, or a man, or an institution, or laws made by man. To encourage that in another, to deny love and care and affection to another because they refuse to bow down at the altar of your religion, that is blasphemous. That is ungodly. And of course, not every religious person is that way, but many people get caught up in the rote repetition of prayer that has no meaning, because you just say it without thinking, without feeling. You just do it. I'm going to say this many Hail Marys. I'm going to go to confession. I'm going to fast on this day. And you do it like a robot. Okay, then you're worshiping those things. You're worshiping those behaviors. You're not worshiping God. And when you do that, you fail to stoke the fire of God within. You fail to connect to God. And we're going to judge people for not doing what we want, not worshiping the way we want. What about what God wants? God wants us to love. God wants us to be godly. God didn't make religion. Man did. God made people. God made your brothers and sisters. God wants you to see the God within them and love the way that God loves, unconditionally. And when we do that, we grow in wisdom. We grow in humility. And the more humble you are, the less you judge. And I'm saying this as a person who has judged others, who has been arrogant, who has been prideful, and who has suffered as a result. And now I'm sharing the wisdom I have gleaned from that. Not a good idea to judge others. It will take you and them away from God. God always wins. God's will be done. The hand of God is always moving. He doesn't need our hand to slap somebody across the face. Karma does that for us. We've been given free will. We get to freely choose our actions, and then we get to experience the consequences of that. That is how we grow in wisdom. That is what love looks like. Love liberates. Love allows you to learn and to grow. It does not force. It does not condemn. It does not withhold love if you don't behave the way I want you to. That is self-serving. You're essentially saying, worship me. Worship my religion. Worship my way. Do what I want, or I will cast you out of this community. That's not loving. That's not godly. Let's not do that to one another.